Alyssa hid her true identity for love, but after 3 cold years, Jasper gave her divorce papers. She returned to her real life, rich, powerful, and unstoppable. Now she's taking back everything, crushing his deals and outshining his mistress. Jasper asks, "Do you have to be so ruthless?" Alyssa smiles. "This is just the beginning." Alice White stared at the divorce papers on the table and realized that her husband had already signed them. Then she looked toward the window. Jasper Beckett's upright figure reflected in her watery eyes. He looked charming under the afternoon sun, but also cold and domineering. Even from behind, he radiated aloofness. "I've signed it. You should also hurry and sign it. I want to finish all the legal procedures before Leah returns." Jasper had his hands clasped behind him and didn't turn to look at her. "We've already agreed on the assets before marriage, so there won't be any issues with that. However, I will compensate you with another 20 million and a villa on the outskirts. After all, you'd be leaving without anything else. It'd be hard for me to explain that to Grandpa later if you do." Alice was stunned and upset. Does Grandpa know you're divorcing me? So what if he knows? Do you think it'll affect my decision? After hearing that, Alice felt faint and grasped the table tightly. Then, she asked softly while on the verge of tears, "Jasper, can we not get a divorce?" Finally, Jasper turned around and looked at her with a strange gaze. He had thin lips, deep eyes, and fierce features. Alice would still feel a flutter in her heart when she looked at his perfectly contoured face. "Why? Because I love you." Alice's eyes were red and filled with tears. "I love you, Jasper. I still want to be your wife, even if you don't have any feelings for me." "Alice White, I've had enough. Every second is torture to me in this loveless marriage." Jasper waved his hand. He didn't have the patience to listen to her anymore. "It was a mistake that you married me. You knew I was fighting with Grandpa. You also knew I had feelings for someone else, and we couldn't be together. Now that the 3-year period is up and Leah is returning from Musgravia, it's time you vacate the position of Mrs. Beckett." Alice had her head down and her tears fell onto the table. She quickly wiped them away. Still, Jasper saw it, and his gaze became deeper. This time his phone rang. When he saw the caller, he quickly answered it. "Leah, have you boarded the plane?" His tone was extremely soft. He was totally unlike the indifferent, cold man that Alice knew. "Jasper, I'm already at Solana City Airport." Leah's excited voice sounded through the phone. "What? Didn't you say you would fly tonight? I wanted to give you a surprise." "Leah, wait for me. I'll pick you up right now." With that, he quickly walked past Alice. Once the study room door closed, the depressed atmosphere remained. Alice had had a crush on Jasper for 10 years, and they were married for 3 years. She had given her all for this family and stayed loyal to him. Yet in the end, he only felt as though it was torture. Now that Jasper was finally freed, he ruthlessly abandoned her, excited to marry his first love. Alice felt pain in her heart. She could never make him fall for her no matter how hard she tried. After that, she took a deep breath and shook her head as tears fell onto Jasper's name on the divorce papers. That night, Jasper took Liana Gardner back to Seaview Manor. The delicate woman was being held in his arms. They entered the villa in a dignified manner, attracting everyone's attention. "Jasper, you haven't divorced Alice yet. I don't think it's a good idea for us to be so close. Alice would be mad at me." Liana caressed Jasper's chest as she spoke. "She won't." Jasper didn't hesitate. "I don't love her anyway. We're just in a contractual relationship. She knows her place." Everyone in the Beckett family surrounded Liana and showed their concern. Only Alice was left alone in the dining room, getting dinner ready. Amid the chaos, Jasper caught a glimpse of his wife's lonely figure and smirked. He thought, even at this point, she's still like a loyal maid, serving the Becketts. Does she think there would be a chance for things to turn around? Ridiculous. "Mr. Beckett! Mr. Beckett!" The butler suddenly rushed over in a panic. "Madam Alice, she left." "Left? When did she leave?" Just a moment ago. She didn't take anything." After she removed her apron, she left from the back door and was picked up in a black car. Jasper rushed to the bedroom to find it immaculate. Only a signed divorce agreement was on the bedside, and he could still see the tear stains. He frowned and walked to the window. A Rolls-Royce sped away from the Seaview Manor and soon vanished into the dark. Wasn't she unwilling to leave in the afternoon? Now she's quick to disappear. Displeased, Jasper called his secretary. Find out who's the owner of the car with the plate A9999. Yes, Mr. Beckett. After 5 minutes, his secretary called. Mr. Beckett, we've found it. The car belongs to the president of KS Group. The president of KS Group? Alice came from a village. She was poor with no outstanding background. She didn't even have any friends during their 3 years together. How could she know the president of KS Group? Had she moved on so quickly and found herself another man? Mr. Beckett, did you really divorce Madam Alice today? The secretary asked tentatively. What's the matter? Can't I do it today? When do you think I should divorce her then? Jasper was furious. It's her birthday today. Jasper was taken aback when he heard that. On the back seat of the Rolls-Royce, Jonah Taylor took Alice's hand and gently squeezed it. When Silas heard you were coming back, he prepared a bunch of fireworks to welcome you. I'm not in the mood for fireworks. Now she had returned to her status as a scion of the Taylor family. She leaned on her eldest brother's shoulder and sighed. Her eyes glistened with tears. Then she glanced at Alice White's phone to read the last message there. It was not from her ex-husband but from Liana. What did I tell you? You'll have to give me back my position after you stole it from me. Jasper is mine. Don't even dream about getting him to stay with you. She smiled wryly and finally came to her senses after shedding one last tear. What's the matter? Can't you bear to leave? Jonah hugged her, his heart aching for his sister. Jonah, it's my birthday today. I know. That bastard should be struck by lightning for choosing today to do this to you. That's why I don't feel like I can't bear to leave. Jasper killed Alice White today. When Alyssa Taylor opened her eyes again, she no longer showed any sentiments for Jasper. I finally get to be free. If I ever go back, I'm better off dead. Liana was the niece of Jasper's father's current wife, so she got along well with the family during dinner. In contrast, Jasper was the only one with a frown and no appetite. Alice had left with Jonah and taken nothing with her, including the 20 million and the villa. Where's Alice? Why isn't she joining us for dinner? Jasper's father, Javier Beckett, asked. We're divorced. The papers are already signed. We will go through the procedures soon and get the divorce certificate. Jasper looked down as he answered. Shocked, Javier asked, Divorce? Why? Javier, I told you Jasper and Alice aren't a good match. Still, your father forced them to get married. His wife, Sophia Kirkman, couldn't help but sigh. She suffered a lot during these 3 years. It's a good thing for them both that she's finally let go. Now they can live their own lives. You know that Jasper has always been in love with Leah. Jasper, marriage isn't child's play. Moreover, Dad, we've signed the divorce papers. Alice has also left, and she didn't take anything with her. Jasper frowned irritatedly. Whoa, that country bumpkin is quite principled. Jasper's sister, Betty Beckett, sneered. Don't tell me this is one of her tricks. I hope she doesn't make up rumors that the Becketts mistreated her. When Jasper heard this, he became sullen. Jasper, I think you've acted rashly in this. Your grandfather is still sick. How are you going to explain this to him? Javier couldn't hold back his irritation as he was afraid that his father would be outraged by the divorce. I will publicly announce my marriage with Liana next month. Liana stared at Jasper's handsome face. The happiness in her eyes was obvious. Absolute nonsense. How could you abandon your wife of 3 years so casually? Your reputation will be tarnished. I never cared about such things. Alice White was never the woman I wanted to marry. Jasper's stance was firm, and he didn't show a hint of regret. Uncle Javier, please don't blame Jasper. If you have to blame someone, then blame it on me. Liana leaned on Jasper and said, It was my fault. I shouldn't have visited. I'll return to Mosgravia tomorrow morning. Jasper, you should get back together with Alice. I don't want to be the villain who broke this relationship. Liana, This has nothing to do with you. Jasper's gaze was fathomless as he said that. Then he took her hand. There are no feelings between Alice White and me. I've endured it for 3 years and I'll never wrong you again. The night breeze was chilly. Jonah took Alyssa to the lake and boarded a yacht to enjoy the beautiful city nightscape. He hoped this would cheer her up. Jonah, are you trying to torment me? Alyssa looked at the couples around her. This is a place for couples to date. I wouldn't dare to come to such a place even during normal times. Really? You can only blame Silas. He prepared the fireworks here, and they'll start at 8. Jonah looked at his watch elegantly. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. With a loud explosion, a huge purple firework ignited the sky. All the couples nearby gathered at the deck, and many more came to the shore to watch. Silas certainly has terrible taste. Alyssa shook her head but felt happy in her heart. Think about the weird gifts you've received in the past. He has improved a lot. Jonah held his sister's shoulder and gently pulled her into his embrace. This is not the only gift for you. We've all prepared something, and they're piled up in your room. You are loved by many, so give your love and time to the people worthy of it. Alyssa was touched by his words and she was on the verge of tears. Right then, a black Maybach stopped outside the crowd. Jasper held Liana's hand as they exited the car. Since it was breezy, Liana hugged Jasper tightly. Oh my, the fireworks are so pretty. Jasper, look. Liana displayed her childlike innocence when she was with Jasper, and that was what he loved about her. It differed from Alice White's incomprehensible dullness, which he disliked. In the past 3 years, Alice only had one advantage. She was obedient. But what was the use of that? Jasper didn't love her at all. They walked to the railing. Suddenly, fireworks bloomed together, turning into a line of words in the air that read, "Happy birthday." Oh, it's someone's birthday. Who is the lucky person getting such an amazing present? Liana said in an envious tone. However, Jasper was shocked and he felt something tugging at his heartstrings. He pursed his lips and thought, it's Alice White's birthday today. Did Jonah prepare this as a birthday gift for her? Then, a familiar bright voice sounded as a yacht passed in front of them, a man and a woman on its deck. It was Alice and Jonah. Ha! Isn't that Alice? Who's that guy beside her? He seems familiar and they both look intimate. Liana acted naive as she asked this. Jasper felt a sudden burst of anger, and his knuckles turned white when he grasped the railings tightly. They hadn't officially divorced, and yet Alice was having fun with another man. Why did she cry so pitifully in the afternoon then? After 2 laps around the lake, the yacht stopped by the shore. When the passengers had left, Jonah put an arm around Alyssa's waist, and they got down together. Alice White. Alyssa froze when she heard that name. She looked back to find Jasper walking toward her. His handsome face still captured her heart, but it was all useless now. Jasper himself had rejected the love she had given him for 13 years, and she couldn't love him anymore. Who is he? Jasper's expression was cold and demanding. Mr. Beckett, you seem to have a poor memory. Jonah held his sister tightly and smiled. We've competed in business a couple of times. Alice White, answer my question. Jasper ignored Jonah and walked closer to her. Mr. Beckett, we're divorced. What does it have to do with you who he is? Alyssa replied in a cold and arrogant tone. Jasper's expression changed. He couldn't believe the usually obedient Alice would speak to him in such a tone. We haven't officially divorced, yet you're already so eager to cling to another man. How dare Jasper accuse Alyssa when he was the one to cheat on her in this marriage? Jonah was furious and was about to hit Jasper, but Alyssa stopped him. However, her actions only enraged Jasper. We haven't officially divorced, yet your first love can't wait to take my place. I didn't say a thing when she replaced me so quickly. What right do you have to stop me from being with another guy? Alyssa's hair fluttered in the wind, her red lips curled into a smirk. This was the first time he had seen such a beautiful side of her. It was filled with a wildness that was difficult to tame. What's the matter? Is the ex-husband the only one allowed to get mad, while his ex-wife isn't allowed to make a fuss? Jasper was speechless at her harsh words. This time, Liana finally caught up. She noticed Jasper still held some sentiments for Alice and stomped her feet angrily. However, she was in heels, and she twisted her ankle instead. With that, she fell to the ground. Ah, Jasper, my ankle hurts. Only then did Jasper return to his senses and help Liana from the ground. When he turned back, the other couple had disappeared from sight. The Heights' new villa in Bellbanks was home to the Taylor family. The Rolls-Royce stopped on the red carpet leading to the door of the building. Silas came out to welcome his sister and opened the car door for her. "Welcome back, princess." Alyssa's delicate face looked even more stunning under the dazzling lights. When she got in the car, she had changed from sneakers to heels. Therefore, she now looked elegant, like a queen. "How have you guys been, Silas?" "Great. It's even better now that you're back. Did you enjoy the fireworks? My birthday gift for you attracted the whole city's attention. It was even trending on social media." Silas' handsome face was filled with excitement. "Yes, I saw it. The people were guessing if it was a tycoon trying to romance his wife, and some even said you were corny. Congratulations on unlocking a new achievement, Silas." Alyssa smiled and clapped her hands. Silas ignored her sarcasm and excitedly hugged her. "Lice, you won't leave us again, right?" "No. He divorced me, so why would I leave now?" Alyssa patted her brother's back to comfort him. She sighed. "I embarrassed you guys. For 3 years, I thought I could make him fall in love with me if I persisted and put in all my effort. In the end, I failed so badly." Heaven knew how bitter she felt, but she endured it all. She swore that she would never shed another tear for Jasper once she stepped out of the Beckett's house. It wasn't worth it. That bastard Jasper Beckett. How dare he bully my sister? I will start a thorough investigation of the Beckett group tomorrow. Then, I'll have Axel assassinate that jerk. When Jonah heard that, he muttered an amen. "Don't mess around, Silas. You're a public prosecutor." Alyssa laughed wryly. "Can't you be like Jonah? Learn to be more peaceful." "Bullshit. You don't know the bad things he did before becoming the peaceful guy he is now." Silas pulled his tie in anger and said, "Anyway, I won't just let this matter pass. He can bully me but not my sister. Since he dares to do so, he will always be on my radar." Alyssa took Jonah's arm on the left and Silas on the right. The three of them happily walked into the house that Alyssa dearly missed. When the chairman of KS Group, Winston Taylor, heard that his daughter was returning, the happiness on his usually stern face was obvious. He was so delighted that he paced around his study. "Dad, I'm back." Alyssa came to the study with her brothers. In contrast to the usually gentle and virtuous attitude she showed to the Becketts, she directly laid on the sofa and kicked away her heels. Jonah also sat down and took his sister's slender and fair legs, putting them on his own and giving her a massage. "Where are your manners? Did you go somewhere to become a doctor with Doctors Without Borders again? Were you in some backwater village?" Winston deliberately maintained a straight face. He couldn't help but feel like they were fated to clash. He would miss her if he didn't see her. But when they were in the same room, she always pissed him off. "Is this a sign of Alzheimer's? I've always been like this. Is this your first day of being my father?" Then she looked up and was shocked. On the wall were some posters she had made more than a decade ago. She was not sure when her father found them, and he even framed them on the wall. One of the posters wrote, "Do you think you're Adonis? Having multiple wives doesn't make you attractive." The other poster wrote, "Better take care of your health now that you're old. Otherwise, you might die of a stroke." Another wrote, "Please show yourself some respect. Thank you." This was a wedding gift she gave Winston when he got married for the 3rd time. The Taylors became a hot topic of discussion because Winston had 4 wives. Alyssa wasn't happy with her family's situation, so she studied abroad and became a doctor with Doctors Without Borders, saving many lives. After leaving home for 3 years, the first thing you do is curse your old man. "What a considerate daughter I have." Winston was furious, and he glared at her. "Thank you for the praise, Daddy." Alyssa laughed. "Dad, we should hurry up and discuss some matters since Lice is back." Jonah put his sister's shoes on for her. Then he said solemnly, "I've decided to give up my position as KS Group's president. Let Lice take my place instead. Alyssa was shocked and stared at her brother's handsome face. You. Winston was speechless. Dad, Alyssa is back. I only promised to be the president for 3 years, and I need to return to church. You know this isn't my passion. Being a pastor is my lifelong dream. At this moment, there seemed to be a holy light behind him. Moreover, his stance was firm. Let Silas do it then. Forced into a corner, Winston had no other choice but to try and bargain with him. No. I work for the government. I can't have any connections with large financial companies. What if I get investigated? Silas quickly refused his father's offer. His face was pale from shock. Winston felt depressed. What was the use of having so many sons? All of them were doing amazing themselves, but no one was willing to inherit his business. His health had been declining, and he had planned long ago to retire. Unfortunately, no one in his family could take on the business empire he had built. It was not that he didn't dote on his daughter. He was just a stubborn old guy who believed that sons would be better heirs. Who told you a woman can't do what a man does? I'll be the president. Alyssa smiled and proudly raised her chin. Do you think it's that easy? KS Group is not child's play. Do you think a kid like you can lead the company? And do you even know how to manage a business? Winston didn't hide the anger and sadness on his face. Most importantly, you never stay the course. You always suddenly disappear without a trace. You even went to Gawa for 3 years without a word. Do you know how worried I was? How worried your mothers were? I thought you were bombed to shreds over there. Alyssa's heart ached at the words, a lump forming in her throat. Even though she felt that her father owed her mother a lot, and she held a lot of grievances against him, she had been wrong to go silent for 3 years and marry Jasper without telling him about it. Dad, Lice is no less capable than me. Jonah picked up the cup and took a sip. Do you remember the financial crisis we suffered 4 years ago? Lice was the one who suggested a few effective company control measures. Also, it was Lice who stayed up for several nights to create the acquisition plan for the Willow Group 2 years ago. Winston was shocked to hear that. Dad, you don't understand Lice well enough. Compared to everyone in this family, she's the brightest and the one with the most perseverance. You've always had a reputation for recognizing talents and using them well. Now a talent is right before your eyes. Why don't you use her? Silas also tried his best to persuade his father. After some thought, Winston said seriously, Okay, since you want to take over the family business, I'll let you have a go at it. Consider it my birthday present to you. Alyssa automatically sat up straight, and her eyes gleamed with excitement. Rest for a few days. After that, I'll take you to Solana City's KS World Hotel to report for duty. If you can enhance the business and turn a loss-making enterprise into a profitable one, I'll consider letting you become the president of KS Group. When they left the study, both her brothers put their hands on her shoulder. Great responsibility only falls on those who are equally great, Jonah said. He just had to go and give you a mess to clean up. Silas sighed. I know. The old man is doing this so that I'll quit. Unfortunately, this method isn't useful against me. I'm like a coiled spring. Any pressure will only make me stronger. Alyssa clenched her fists. The ambition that had been dormant inside her for 3 years was slowly rising to the surface. The brothers glanced at each other and smiled. My dear sister, we'll leave our future freedom in your hands.